7. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Would you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and then the prayer?
Yeah. Lord, we're meeting here this evening to conduct matters of business. Guide our hearts and our minds in the spirit of fairness, right thought, and speech. Impart your supreme wisdom upon our activities so that our affairs may reach a successful conclusion. Thank you for being the source of our guidance tonight. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Mathis.
Here.
Krug is present. Tucker.
Present.
Gopal.
Here.
Kessler is absent. Lorraine.
Present.
Reed.
Here.
You have 6 members present.
Okay. To the people in the audience, this meeting is televised. We have 3 cameras, 1, 2, 3. When you come up, if you want to speak on the items, you come to the podium. I'm going to ask you to talk a little louder so everybody can hear. It is recorded. I'd like you to give your name. You do not have to give your address. And it's programmed, it's charter communication. You can watch this for the next 2 weeks on channel 191. It will have school activities on it also, but it's about every 4 hours during the day that it's on. So you're welcome when you do come up to speak, and you'll be able to see yourself on television. Approval of the agenda. Are there any requests to amend tonight's agenda? All right. A motion is in order to approve the agenda as presented. Do I have a second? I need a motion.
So moved.
I need a
Support.
second. Any further discussion? All in favor signify by saying
Aye.
Aye.
Or were you going to
opposed. Motion is carried. I'm so sorry. Meeting minutes. Included in the packet are the meeting minutes for January the 20th special meeting and irregular meetings. Are there any corrections or requested revisions to these meeting minutes? If none, the meeting minutes stand approved as presented. Expenditures. John, I think you're going to have some questions, but I already got answers for you.
Okay.
Are there any questions regarding any of the invoices that are in front of you?
I didn't really have anything.
I didn't either.
You didn't? Okay.
No.
I was concerned in regards to Fenton Township General Fund dog license agent fees.
Yeah.
That $8 is a refund to the county. Then I was, then come down farther, it says dog license fees, Genesee County Treasurer, $50,685.32. You know how it'll take the last one and add to it? That's what that one was for. Then there was one for the fire department, station number 1 supplies, $88.59. But if you go back into the other fund for the fire department, they added that in, and so it was $218.60. And I think that was it. Is there any other questions regarding any of your other invoices? Mark?
No.
No? Okay. All right, I need a motion to approve the expenditures totaling $354,805.23 for payment.
So moved.
Second.
Support.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
I vote yes. Mathis.
Yes.
Gopal.
Yes.
Tucker.
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
Kessler is absent. Lorraine.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, the public hearing, this is where most of you are here for. Proposed Street Improvement Special Assessment District, Margaret Drive and Ruth Drive. Continuation of the public hearing on the proposed Street Improvement Special Assessment District for Margaret Drive and Ruth Drive. To the people of the board, in your packet, there's information in regards to it, but I'm going to put it over to Operation Manager Tom Broker and have you explain it to the public. And then I will open it up for public comment.
Okay, as the board directed at that December 16th meeting, a form was sent to every property owner in the proposed district asking them to indicate their preference for the paving options. For Margaret Drive, there are 139 parcels in the proposed district. 103 of those responded on those forms for 74% return rate. 31 preferred option 1, which was the full rehab 15-year improvement, or 20-year improvement, 15-year special assessment. 70 preferred option 2, which is the mill and pave for a 5-year assessment and 5-year expected life. 2 responded that they didn't want either, and 36 did not respond. For Ruth Drive, 14 parcels, 8 were returned. 3 preferred option 1. It's actually the same owner on all 3, which was mill and pave with drainage improvements. Option 2, which was mill and pave without drainage improvements, only 1. 4 responded requesting neither, and then 6 did not respond. So in my memo, my recommendation, the 70 is over 50% of the total on Margaret Drive, not just 2/3 of what responded, but over 50% of the total. So my recommendation would be to go with option 2 for Margaret Drive, and especially if that's the route we're going with Margaret, I think it makes sense to leave Ruth out of it this time around and pick them up next time, but it's up to the board.
All right, now I'm going to open it up to public comment. If you have any questions, if you haven't been to the other meetings, you're very welcome to come up and ask us, and we'll try to explain it to you. Carol?
Carol Wyman, and I live on Margaret. So did the 10,000 pass, or was it the 5,000?
It was the 5,000.
So you're only going to do a halfway job?
We're not. That's what the people wanted done. Yeah. Please don't blame us.
Okay, because I misunderstood. You said out of 139 lots there on Margaret, 103 responded, but they responded to the $5,000 cost, not the 10,000 one.
103 were the total responses.
Right.
70
Oh,
people responded.
70
For the
wanted the lower
5,000.
cost, 31 wanted the higher cost, and 2 wanted nothing.
And even if everybody responded, the 70 would still hit that 51% that we need to make a decision as a board as to what the residents want.
right. I was just concerned. I'd prefer, do it right, get it done. But if the vote was to go halfway, my shop language almost slipped out there. But go for it.
Just so you know, I'm glad we got the actual hard 70 for one or the other, because
So was I when I read Tom's.
it's a beautiful number, that's the
That was
number
a
we
great
needed.
return rate.
It was.
Yes, sir.
Eric Morse, Margaret Drive. My question was, if we were to do the option 1, which was the full, how many years was that loan?
10.
If we did the
No,
second?
It was a 15-year
15-year.
assessment, and the road commission believed that it was a 20-year improvement, that it would be 20 years.
Right, so
before
15 years loan, 20-year improvement. How long is the loan for the second one, the cheaper one?
It's 5 years both ways. 5-year assessment, and the road commission believes within 5
Okay.
years it will need significant.
Okay, I thought the second one might have been 10 years, and as we were driving here, I thought, well, if we do the 15-year and it lasts 20 years, we get 5 extra years, but if it was 10 years and it only lasts 5 years,
It could
then we're
hold up
still
longer
paying
than
5 years after that.
It could hold up longer than 5. That's, the road commission felt comfortable saying 5 years.
Yeah, okay. I thought it might have been 10. I was just thinking if it was 10 years on the loan and 5 years for the life of the road, then we'd still be owing on that if we decided to do this 8 years from now, and then we'd have to double up. But
No,
if it's 5 years,
5 for
Assessment
5.
will be
5 for 5.
5 for 5. Yeah.
Buying time is what's going on.
Yeah. But now the price might go up in 5 years.
No, not might.
Selling full.
I was going to say,
I'm just
Mike.
going to put might.
Might about it.
Well, with all the trucks that we have on Margaret Drive, probably.
I know.
I don't think it's 5.
No. And Tom, when do they say that they can get started on something like this if we submit it?
Well, the road commission would do the work, so it does not have to be bid out. But they'll, that we have an estimate that if the board approves it, actually, we just have to wait for weather to break, and we will still need to get funding in place as well.
Okay. Does everybody understand what option number 2 was, what's going to happen to your road? You got the letter and everything, and they explained what it was. It's milling and paving over the existing pavement. That's the 5-year. Is there any other questions? Please come and ask, and if we can help you out in any way. Yes, sir.
My name is John Locke. I'm from Harp Drive. Been there 21 years. We've been driving through that mud hole on Whitaker to get to our road.
Okay. Dan, did you say Dan?
No, John.
John, we're going to get back to Whitaker Road. This is a hearing right now. It's just Margaret and Ruth, but we are going to be talking about Whitaker. So that's when I need you to come and talk in regards to it.
When will I know about that?
Tonight.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
All right.
Thank you. Is there any, yes?
Ginny Abraham on Margaret Drive, and
Pull it down because you're little.
can they hear me now?
There.
Anyway, I want to thank the board for all you put up with listening to the people on Margaret and Ruth over the last few meetings. I appreciate all your hard work. And if you wanted to pay it off right away, how would you know how much and when that would be payable?
Once we have the final number, everyone will get a letter and a minimum 30-day window to pay it off without interest.
Okay,
And
great.
then after that, interest starts, and it would go on and install 5 installments on the tax bill and starting in next December.
Okay,
What's the
great, thank you.
percentage of
Thank you
interest?
again.
We don't know yet.
You don't know that, okay.
But even if you say it's 60 days to pay it up, you're only paying interest on 30 days.
Correct.
Yeah.
So,
Is there any other questions in regards to that? And you realize, Mrs. Shepherd isn't here. You realize that Ruth Drive is not going to be done. It'll be done after 5 years from now. The people there requested it because they said it wasn't as bad. So we went and checked it.
It could actually be done anytime they bring a petition back, is that?
Yes,
that-
yeah, yeah.
Petition for a special assessment.
Yes. All right. Tom, you want to tell how this is going to happen now? You said the letter.
Well, once there's a resolution for the board to formally create the district tonight, which the district would then be only the properties on Margaret Drive, then we will get with the road commission to get on the schedule. I'll get with the financial advisors to get the bond sale in place. Nothing's going to happen till at least May, probably June. But then we should have everything lined up and we'll know more. But once we have the final number, we have to have one final hearing to confirm the roll, and then get the bond sale done, and it should be done by third quarter at least, I would think.
Third quarter, okay. Any discussion from the board members?
No, I agree with the process. I'm not sure that I agree with the decision. I'd probably fix it myself completely, but that's not what we're here for. We're here to figure out what the residents want.
What the residents want.
I think we're getting better at doing that. We need to implement this process
And put it
and replicate it.
in a special meeting. I think it's
Yeah.
worked well.
I was surprised
very
in
well.
regards to the petitions or the letters, and they were sent back. There were some people that actually sent them back, but didn't vote one way or the other. And that
still
surprised. Pardon me?
that's still nice.
Yeah. So anyway, that surprised me because I thought if I ever got a letter from the government and they said vote one way or the other, I'd be the first person that would vote in regards to that. But there were some people that did not at all.
But if you read it, what Tom did, And what the township did through sending out the notices, the participation was higher. It makes it very easy for us. We can certainly listen to public comment, but the public has spoken. I mean,
Oh,
this
absolutely.
is what a democracy
Yeah.
is.
And you get out
If
all.
you got 51%, it makes it very easy for us, then,
You get out all.
because everybody seems to look at us like, we're not wanting to fix roads. It has nothing to do with
No.
the township.
No.
So I think it's a good start to the process, and I hope this township board takes a good, strong look at making sure that we put a policy in place similar to what we did in all future requests for special assessment.
Well, also, it gets you out all the, well, I was told this and they said that.
Yep.
You know, we've controlled the information.
We control the information that's disseminated.
And we got a good response.
And people have educated material that they can cast their vote. And Tom, it was 170 and we got 130?
103 out of 139 on
Yeah,
Margaret.
I mean,
So
that's-
74%. 74%.
That's spectacular.
Yeah. So I personally want to thank all of the people, and the rest of them aren't here.
Yeah.
You did a good job. There was no fighting, no arguing. You listened, you talked to each other, you figured out what you wanted. And like Mr. Lawrence said, and Mr. Lawrence,
That's all right.
Mr. Lorraine said, we don't make the choice, you make the choice. And so whatever you want, that's what you're going to have. And so I'm going to close the public hearing, and we've already had board discussion. So now, resolution number 2020-02. Clerk Crew, will you present the resolution?
Yes. Resolution 2020-02 determines that the petition meets the statutory requirements, approves the preliminary plans and estimated cost, creates the Margaret Drive Improvement Special Assessment District, which includes all properties that front on or those whose only access is through Margaret Drive, directs the supervisor to create a special assessment role, and repeals any conflicting resolutions. I'll move the resolution.
Second.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Tucker,
Yes.
Gopel.
Yes.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Reed.
Yes.
I vote yes. Kessler is absent. Mathis.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
All right, reports. Are there any reports, committee reports to be made to the board? Can somebody tell me about the German Shepherd that went through the ice? Give me the update on that one.
Okay, my version.
Okay.
The truthful version.
Well, it's just a version. Rumor has it that a certain board member
Oh, it was
who has the suit on tonight, but I won't name that person,
with
with a bow tie and a white shirt, was out chasing geese off his lake
Oh,
in a canoe with his German Shepherd,
your dog,
and
John?
he pushed the German Shepherd out onto the ice.
This is in the
And they had to be
fiction
rescued.
section of the library box.
The true, I'm just picking on Mr. Tucker. True version is over on, is it Tupper?
Tupper Lake.
Tucker?
Tupper.
Upper.
You might own it, but Tupper. Tupper Lake, a German Shepherd dog went through the ice. Mr. Tucker, along with his loving wife, they went out in a canoe and saved the dog from drowning through the ice.
Wow.
And then they were saved from spending the night in the canoe by the fire department. Is that close better, John?
That's a better recitation, Bob.
Well, thank you, because I heard about it, but I heard
Congratulations.
so
Well
many
done,
stories,
Well,
yes.
thank you. It took a village. Everybody, my wife saw the dog. I mean, we were probably 500 feet away from the dog. And my wife was able to see it. I happened to have binoculars. She thought it was a goose. And I was concerned the dog, I called 911 immediately. And I thought they might laugh at me, but they were actually excellent about it. The Fenton Township Fire Department got there very quickly, along with Genesee County Sheriff. I was worried because the dog was floundering. You could see early on it was trying hard to get up on the ice, and the activity was dropping. So I pushed a canoe out and got the dog into the boat.
For you.
And as Bob said, I wasn't going anywhere at that point because the canoe was in the water. There was no safe way for me to get out and move the canoe back.
Oh,
So
dear.
two gentlemen from the Fenton Township Fire Department came and hooked a rope to the canoe, and they had a rope all the way to the shore. They had a big long rope that's
And pulled
useful for
you.
that kind of thing. So pulled it to where it was safe, where I could get out of the canoe. The dog was transported up to an animal emergency hospital on Bristol Road that works with animal control, and they took it back. They were drying it off. I mean, the township fire department, you'd all be very proud of them. They were all obviously dog lovers. You know, they were encouraging the dog. They put blankets all over the dog. They were doing everything they could until we got transported up, and they were drying the dog off with dryers. The dog, here's a lesson for everybody. The dog had a collar, which I would not have been able to get him out if he didn't have a collar. Okay, there was no ID or anything on the collar, but the dog had a chip.
Chip.
Okay, so within 20 minutes of when I got to this dog hospital, they were able to locate 3 different phone numbers, the name of the dog, the name of the owner of the dog, and a backup contact person. Now, if you really want the salacious details, the owner of the dog happens to be a mixed martial arts fighter and was getting off a plane in Detroit. I don't know that he was coming back from a fight, but as best I know, the dog was in a kennel, and I'm guessing the dog escaped. And the dog was fairly skinny, so I think the dog was probably chasing Bob's geese, probably for breakfast at that point. And got in the water, and you know, if you ever attempted to extract yourself from wet ice, you know that isn't going to happen whether you're a dog or a person unless you got something to grab hold of. So I love happy endings. This one had a happy ending. I stopped by this morning. The dog was gone. There was no report of animal control picking them up, so I believe
When they have the owner,
that the owners. I did get a few minutes ago a friend request from the owner, so I think I'll probably have the full details of the story before long.
Up Ralston?
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I was Ralston. Yeah, it wasn't far from the mouth of the river flowing out of Tupper.
Is that the owner, Up Ralston?
No, he's a fighter. He says he's out of Westland. I don't know where the kennel was. Don't know. That's just what
Just got away.
the deputy sheriff said.
Talking about Lake Fenton, because there was a dog out of the middle of Lake Fenton.
Yeah.
2-3 days ago.
Yeah, no, it's just-
Coyote or something.
It was, the one on Lake Fenton was a coyote.
Was it a coyote?
Yeah, they got pictures of it and
I
stuff.
went out there and laid down, and got it and walked and laid down. And just
He was-
watched it like
He might have went to the island.
He
I
was
live on the
swan-
island, and
He was swan and goose hunting, looking for lunch.
yeah.
Yeah, when I said that story, she said that was the guy.
Yeah. The deer, the coyotes, the foxes, raccoons, all go to the island in the winter months. And in the spring, we see them on the island.
Is there anybody that stays on the island?
There's a couple people that are out there, yeah. But I will tell you another thing that a lot of people don't know. If you see the lake just beautifully clear and everything, and let's say it's got ice like it did, and then there was water, overnight the lake freezes. In the morning you might wake up and you'll see a big mound of something white, and that's a goose. No, a swan who is stuck in the ice. The water has frozen right up to the swan, and he can't get out. And how you know is the swan takes their neck and flips it and just keeps beating their head trying to get the ice broken, and they can't. Well, some people will try to go get them, and it's pretty dangerous. I wouldn't do it. But they will absolutely die. But the hawk comes down and picks at it. The other birds come down and pick at it. And the eagle, yes, and the eagle. And if you see it, shut your window, don't watch it. It'll last for about 2 days. It is sickening. It is absolutely terrible. But thank you, John. And a chip is important in a dog. All right, well, you are quite a hero.
You got a canoe you'll rent or loan.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
Good job, John.
Thanks.
Communications, none. Adoption of ordinances, none. Unfinished business. This is the election commission meeting. They want to hold it on February the 17th, 2020. Mr. Krug, would you like to talk about it?
Well, this is one that, as you know or may not know, March 10th is an election, and I need to have the commission meet so we can approve the election inspectors for that election.
All right.
We met at 7 o'clock, that'd be great.
So you want to make a motion to, you don't have to make a motion?
We'll just post it.
Okay,
We'll
all
just
right.
post it as an open meeting.
All right, the next item is proposed local road improvements. Sir, this is for you, John. Improvements for Whitaker Road. This stretch is Linden Road to Harp Drive. And in the packet, it explains what it is. It's between the two parcels on Whitaker Road that are the park side, on each side is the park. So, Tom, do you want to talk about this one in regards to, we were going to do it. We were going to do it. And,
Yeah, I can give a little history on it.
Yeah.
It was about, not quite 2 years ago, that the road commission had approached the township about using some supplemental allocation funds toward a project, and this one seemed to be a good fit. They had about 90,000 in allocation funds they could put toward it. The estimate they gave us at that time was 150, so we were looking at about 60,000 out of the township's road budget. Fast forward to August of 19, they bid the project out, and the lowest bid was 343,000. Those bids were rejected. It was bid out again in December. They got more bids this time, a little bit lower, but still 314,000, still more than double the estimate. The road commission also advised us with some of the tree removal and core sampling they've done, the actual total cost with that bid would be about 340. Minus the 90, where we would be looking at 250,000 out of our 2020 road budget, which is about 70%. So if the board approves it, we'd be looking at 250, and not a whole lot left on any other roads for this year. If the board rejects it, we will be on the hook for 20 to 25,000 of expenses already incurred. Half of that can come out of our allocation funds. The other half out of our budget. I did contact County Parks and Rec to see if they had any interest in participating, since it runs through their property. They advised that they don't have the budgetary means to absorb that kind of cost, and they did not really see the paving of the road as a tremendous benefit to the park. Mr. June, the director, said, we want to be good neighbors. If there's, another way to get around it, we don't mind helping out. But as far as trying to split that 250, that wasn't gonna. He said that's almost their whole budget for a whole year of all improvements. So, so my recommendation at this point, I don't think that's the best use of our road funds for this year to put it all into one road. And I would recommend that we reject it at this time. And if there's a more creative way to finance it and get it back on the table at some point, that would be worth looking at.
Are those funds still available if we allocate them to another project? The $90,000 from the county?
Yeah, we can reallocate the 90,000 to a different project. We're not losing those funds. The road commission did guarantee, pretty much promised that to us. So we're not losing the allocation funds.
Tom, how much from Linden Road to the park driveway, isn't part of that paved? Because it's two parcels.
John,
or it's two parks.
can you answer that question?
It's from Linden Road to the park is one, and
From
then
Linden
from the
Road
park
to the
Harp
park.
is the other.
Yeah.
It's
Is there
not one piece.
any part paved?
About 30 feet.
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
Just like an apron, probably.
Yeah.
But there's people, they go down the road and get back into the where one of the pavilions is, that is not paved back in there.
No.
No, but to that drive to get to the pavilions.
Yeah,
From Linden Road, how much of that is not paved?
760 feet in a town. 600 or so.
See if I've got it.
I don't know if it's that much.
Well, I'm just spitballing here, but I'm just thinking if we did from Harp to the actual
Linden.
road access, that would be one piece, because I would think the access from Linden Road to the park gets more care than from the park to Harp. And it kind of knocked down some of the money. You know what I'm saying? Because it's two separate parcels.
Well, two separate segments of road.
Two separate
Two
segments
yeah.
of road. Even
And
on
this-
our road description sheet, it's two separate segments.
Where's our picture? We don't have
Real quick.
John, do you want to, the two of you, you're welcome to get up and speak.
You follow me? My name is Glenn Schock. I live at 4450 Harp Drive. I've been a resident there for 50 years. I think in discussing this subject, I think everybody needs to be aware of some of the facts. This here road is not, it's a county road, but it's not built to be a county road at this time.
It's not built to be a road.
Now, the engineers that sent these bids to the contractors, they took a lot of this into consideration. The width of the road, the ditching, it's not like laying 600 feet of asphalt down. It includes much more. You have a bike path, or you have a walking path that's going to have to be disturbed that goes across the road. You have a parking lot on the south side that serves the walking path all the way to the soccer fields. And then you have 50 foot from Linden Road, you have a one-lane road into the park that services that 3 pavilions back there on the north side, plus the playscape. There's people there all the time.
Yeah.
It's a heavy used park. That intersection that you're talking about has to be redone. You talk about aprons on all these other roads. Well, that needs a big apron simply because of the traffic. That park, in the summertime, it's horrendous.
Yes.
There's sometimes 150 cars parked on the grass using on the beach side. So them are the facts that we're faced with here, and the engineers has presented what it takes to bring that road up to date.
Yeah.
And that's why it's costing, like, I don't know, I think Tom said $314,000 last bid. And, you know, it's not just, they got a lot to deal with. Both of those entrances to both parking lots has got to be redone, put aprons in there, and widened out. And the Parks Division, or the Parks Department, Genesee County Parks, should have a big responsibility here. They're going to be the benefactors. They're going to be the benefactors of this road improvement. And I would like to see the township and the county go ahead with the project, complete it. Send the parks a bill for a third of the expense when you get done. Don't send them a bill, send them an assessment. They own every foot of property on each side.
Yes.
Send them an assessment for a third of the cost.
Can you assess the county?
And that's, by rights, that's the way this should be handled. Anyway, I thank you for your time.
Thank you, Lynn.
Thank you.
John, did you want to speak now?
I haven't been here as long as Glenn, but I live next door to him. And, you know, when we first bought the house, Harp wasn't paved. And I'm riding down there with this real estate girl, and I said, hey, turn this car around. I'm not living on a dirt road. So she said, oh, no, it's going to be paved. Well, we paid for that, you know, so we got that done. But, man, 21 years. Glenn's been driving down it since he had to leave his car at one of the pavilions and walk home. That road is, it's better than what it was when Glenn moved there, but my God, 21 years, it's just ridiculous. It's a mud hole. And this year they didn't even come down and plow it that I could see. You know, and when they do come and hit it with a belly blade on a truck, that doesn't take the chuck holes out. No. And they never get up to Harp Drive. They still leave big chuck holes at Harp Drive.
we're going to have to look into it a little bit more in regards to it. I agree with John and Lynn as far as this road. This road has spread out so far, and we have, it's safety reasons too. Children are playing in those parks and that, and they run between the cars, and the cars are parked all over the place.
They park down the ditches.
Absolutely.
Because they're front-wheel drive, they figure they can get out.
Yeah, yeah. So, as of right now, we can't afford that. But I really believe the park is actually furnishing the park with a road to get the people to get to the park, plus to the parking lot. So,
But the majority come off Linden. Now, I'm looking at the satellite picture. Is it paved from Linden to the park?
No.
That's what they're talking about.
I understand that, but it's two separate parks. So the actual, okay. So
It's from Linden to
I'm just thinking, if it's two pieces, if we don't have the money for all of it,
no.
So I don't think it was supposed to be.
Pay from Linden to about, from here to you.
okay.
That's about all, just,
All right.
Could I ask a question from the seat here? Has there ever been anybody that took this problem to the parks or the county?
I did when it was Amy McMillan. I did.
How long ago?
She's been gone now, I'm going to say 5 years maybe. But I mean, I tried really hard to get that road brought in. But when you say to bring a road in and it's standards to a road, you know, they have to bring in so many feet and the curb and gutter and the whole bit, the cost is just ridiculous.
it doesn't need curb and gutter.
Yeah.
Fine.
Like, come up here again. You know, I hate to get started on the parks because I've lived there like 50 years. And we pay, all of us pay on our property tax, the park millage. You know, why don't I tell all of you guys what we pay? But you ever see any improvements to Linden County Park?
Have I seen improvements?
Not Livingston.
Pardon?
No. You're saying, have I seen improvements
Yes.
in the park? To a certain extent, but
Well,
nothing, no.
You know, the beach part,
Park gets improved.
Fred Schultz was responsible for that. He got bottle fund money out of the state bottle fund. He paid for that. The parks didn't pay for that. So nothing that the park, all of our millages, nothing that the park system gets goes into Linden County Park. Nothing. No improvements whatsoever. All the money goes for other parks in the county. And I believe that the park system should be paying for a third of this road.
I agree. I do.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, John. All right. Is there any more board discussion in regards to this? I need a motion to reject the proposal of Whitaker Road paving project due to substantial increase in cost.
So moved.
Second? Any further discussion? Oh, I don't have a second.
I'll support it.
Okay. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Lorraine,
Yes.
Mathis,
Yes.
Tucker,
Yes.
I vote yes. Kessler is absent. Reed,
Yes.
Goebel,
Yes.
motion passes.
All right. New business, none. Board comments. Are there any other comments from the members of the board? None? All right. Is there any public comment on agenda or non-agenda items? If not, I say good night. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you for coming.